The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Tolly Anderson. And as we brace for this next round of rain up and down the state, some areas up north are still drying out from the last storm system. Daring and dramatic rescues continued yesterday, including a woman who had to be pulled to safety after trying to cross a flooded street.
If it wasn't for you guys, we'd be in a lot of trouble. And don't do nothing stupid like I did.
In San Francisco, where the city nearly broke its single-day rainfall record, pedestrians floated down flooded streets. Others used kayaks and surfboards. Statewide, the damage is in the millions as roads remain impassable and communities remain under evacuation orders. At least one person died in Sacramento County, discovered in a submerged vehicle Sunday. Many emergency officials in the area say this is the worst flooding they've seen in decades.
The Oakland Zoo will be closed for at least 2 weeks because an entrance is washed out. Water is rushing through a gaping hole in the road, estimated to be about 10 feet by 10 feet. The zoo says a culvert under the road collapsed, blaming it on several days of heavy rain. And while the zoo is closed to the public, staff will continue to go to the property to care for the animals, which are all safe.
Making news around the nation, today the 118th Congress will be sworn in. We'll see a major shift in power as Republicans take control of the House. NBC's Bree Jackson has more on the pushback Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy's getting from within his own party on his bid for the speakership.
The new year brings a new Congress and a new Speaker of the House. With Republicans taking control of the lower chamber, Kevin McCarthy is vying to take over the position, even moving his things into the Speaker's office.
Do you have the votes for Speaker tomorrow?
Typically, 218 votes are needed to become the Speaker.
There's nothing he's done to earn my vote. He's part of the swamp cartel.
I hope we can come together and we get focused on what we got to do.
Today could mark the first time in 100 years a party leader doesn't win on the first round.
All of this entire exercise is about weakening the speaker.
On the other side of the aisle, Hakeem Jeffries is replacing Nancy Pelosi, making him the first black leader in Congress, where he's looking to move the party's agenda forward.
Building upon the incredible track record of legislative success that we've had over the last few years, continuing to work with President Biden, the administration, Senate Democrats to advance the ball for everyday Americans.
New members will be sworn into a divided government today, Democrats holding control of the Senate as Republicans decide who will hold the Speaker's gavel. And the House cannot conduct business until a Speaker is elected. Republicans are looking to settle the matter so that they can move forward with their agenda, which includes launching investigations into the Biden administration. In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson for NBC News.
In your 17 Homicide Tracker, we're learning more about a deadly shooting Friday night in East Bakersfield. The Kern County Sheriff's Office has identified the victim as 36-year-old Joshua Samaripas. Officials say the shooting happened about 10:30 p.m. Friday near Pasante Road and Mesa Drive. Samaripas was taken to Kern Medical, where officials say he later died. So far, no suspect information has been released, and if you know anything about this shooting, you are asked to call deputies at 861-3110.
And a man's under arrest after allegedly shooting a woman in the neck at a home in southeast Bakersfield Sunday night. The police department says that 35-year-old Francisco Paul Lopez of Shafters facing attempted murder, spousal abuse, and weapons charges. BPD says the woman was taken to the hospital with moderate injuries. Her condition is unknown. Anyone with information about the case is urged to call BPD at 327-7111.
And Bakersfield police are still searching for the shooter who killed a 12-year-old girl in 2021. Kern Secret Witness is continuing to offer a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading to an arrest in the death of Amaya Alexander on May 21st, 2021. Family members say the girl was walking outside to get fresh air when she was killed outside a home on L and 11th Street. Anyone with information on her death is asked to call the Kern Secret Witness at 661-322-4040.
Kern County's homicide rate rose to an all-time high during the pandemic, but things changed in 2022. Using our KGET homicide tracker, 17's Marco Torres shares how things changed in 2022 for the better.
Kern throughout the pandemic saw a spike in homicides, but things were different in 2022. In that year, Kern saw 97 confirmed homicides. That's about a 30% drop since Kern's all-time high of 140 in 2020. Even in 2021, that number only slightly dropped. It came down to 136. The 97 homicides in 2022 come very close to Kern's pre-pandemic level. In 2019, 95 homicides were recorded. The 97 homicides in 2022 were lower than the recorded homicides for 2016, 2017, and 2018. Of the 97 homicides in 2022, 73 were shootings, 8 were stabbings, 6 were officer-involved shootings, 7 were classified as other, and 3 are still under investigation. Law enforcement agencies announced they've made arrests for less than half of the 97 homicides in 2022. Updates from these agencies have been slow. Kern's homicides are split across multiple law enforcement agencies. In 2022, the leading agencies with the most homicides were Kern County Sheriff's Office with 47, Bakersfield Police Department with 39, McFarland Police Department with 3, Delano Police Department with 2, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation CDCR with 2, Ridgecrest Police Department with 2, and a few other agencies with 1 homicide each. However, there are still 3 unconfirmed deaths. KCSO, Delano PD, and CDCR each have an unconfirmed case.
And that was Marco Torres reporting. Now to the coronavirus. A new strain of the COVID Omicron variant is taking over in the United States. The subvariant named XBB.1.5 accounts for about 40% of confirmed U.S. COVID cases. That is up from 20% a week ago. In the Northeast, this new subvariant accounts for about 75% of confirmed cases, and experts say there is no indication that this variant causes more severe illness than any other Omicron variant, but lab studies have found that XBB is capable of evading antibodies from previous COVID infections or vaccinations, meaning exposure could lead to someone getting sick or even reinfected.
In just a few hours, the House will kick off its new session, and Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy will look to become second in line to the president as Speaker of the House. But McCarthy's facing significant opposition that could have huge implications from D.C. to Kern County.
Our 17's Maddie Gannon is in the nation's capital this week to cover it all and joins us now live. Maddie, hello, good morning. What can we expect today?
Maddie, Tolly, good morning. So the House convenes at noon today. That Speaker's vote that is so critical for McCarthy is the very first order of business. But all signs at this point are pointing to a bit of a battle on the House floor today. McCarthy, of course, has the support from the majority of the House Republican Conference, but he continues to face opposition from 5 conservatives.
For the second time in his over 2-decade-long political career, today, Bakersfield Congressman Kevin McCarthy will seek the Speaker's gavel. McCarthy was the assumed next leader of the lower chamber under GOP control since he became House Republican leader 4 years ago. But a mediocre midterm performance sent Washington swirling.
McCarthy was so aggressive in campaigning and raising money across the country ahead of the midterms. And the fact is that McCarthy came up short. He didn't get a governing majority. He got scarcely a majority at all. And this is creating enormous headaches for him.
McCarthy is facing opposition from 5 hardline conservatives. With just a 4-seat Republican majority, those 5 are enough to tank his bid, setting up a possible tense floor fight and multiple votes to select the Speaker, something that hasn't happened in a century.
Everybody who's a pundit and who is part of the political commentary today, nobody says they want to be Kevin McCarthy because he's going to have the slimmest of margins and he has a very divided, balkanized conference.
But the delay would have huge implications for the House entirely. The chamber can't form committees, start any legislative or investigative work, or even swear in the new members without a speaker.
I think the other members will be really irritated because we've got a lot of work to do, and this just delays it. It's delayed it for 2 months that Kevin McCarthy could be getting things going.
A vote with big implications in D.C. that will be felt in Kern County.
If McCarthy doesn't get the speakership in that first vote, the clerk of the House can call multiple votes today, which hasn't happened in 100 years, or the House can adjourn to give McCarthy and members more time to negotiate and select a day and time to return. Maddie, Tolly.
All right, and Maddie will be covering that all for us live from D.C. throughout the day, so be sure to stay tuned to KGET and also join us tonight at 7 p.m. for a special 17 News presentation of Mr. Speaker Kevin McCarthy's Path to Power. McCarthy is Bakersfield born and raised, and no one's covered him more than KGET. You'll hear from some of the people who know him best, and you'll see photos of McCarthy through the years, from his time at Bakersfield High School to his rise to the highest level of Congress.
It's all been genuine, it's all been the same. He's never changed to me.
I worry about him, but he's going to prevail.
He's one of the smartest political people I know, but has lost his way, but there's still hope.
But he's challenged, and now his test is ultimate.
Tune in tonight at 7 to see our special report, only here on KGET.
Now to sports. Very scary moments on Monday Night Football. Buffalo Bills in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. And in the first quarter, Cincinnati was leading 7-3 when Bills safety Damar Hamlin tackled Bengals wide receiver T. Higgins. You'll see he stands up, and that's when the young 24-year-old fell back over motionless. And an ambulance arrived on the field. Hamlin received CPR for several minutes. Emotional players and coaches stood by, and the Bills knelt for a prayer. The NFL announced more than an hour after the injury that the game would not resume. And according to the Bills, Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest and is currently in critical condition at the hospital.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.